Hello on YouTubes. We are back for, what is it, 21st episode of the Springfield Chantry Chronicle, and Agent Runner is suggesting Donald Trump on Twitch chat. Yeah, you could, Jackalord, please add Merlin to the end of the list. So, if you want, actually, you can go to the Twitch chat on a second screen or a different tab, so that you can read the chat when it is appropriate, if you want. But I'm gonna roll for Yorick Ski's Awesomeness. He gets a -2 on the difficulty of these rolls, so it counts as difficulty 8 thing. So this would be 4 successes at difficulty 8 on the lock of the door. So, like we discussed off screen, Nietzsche, your forgetfulness thing for this, while you're the doctor, will be that you don't know that you can take bullet wounds and such, and you are afraid of regeneration. It is like a sort of like dying thing for you, so you know, act accordingly. You don't think of yourself as invulnerable to bullets, and when you heal with blood, you would probably treat it as regeneration,
Hey,
not...
look, Epic is on.
Oh, Epic is on. Alright.
Right.
Epic? Epic! Hey! How's
Sorry
it
for
going?
being just a tad bit late.
Yeah, we waited 15 minutes for you. We are just starting, so you are just in time.
Okay, thank you.
I did roll your the difficulty of the lock with Dex Crafts at 8. Got 4 successes, but you can roll it yourself if you would rather have a roll
Nope,
made
it's
by
fine. That's less than I normally get. We can take that.
Okay. So a tense situation had developed at the end of last
it did.
session, where Gianna had gotten orders to protect Malik and take care of him by the prince, and she had decided that for this to happen, Julio had to die in a fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yorick, by her arguments and his natural compassion, was convinced to join in this endeavor.
My very natural compassion. Yes. Nothing to do with threats against the workshop.
So, you can start rolling initiative where appropriate. I'm gonna roll it for the NPCs involved in these events. Ooh, that none. Winning for great just... Oh gods, I'm so sorry, Julio. You did say you had rolled Thaumaturgy beforehand, hadn't you?
Yes, I am at 8th generation.
Malik doesn't know that, so he wouldn't necessarily... Well, yeah. We'll see.
I just realized something not even covered in the rules, actually.
Yeah,
And is his generation considered that for purposes of diablerie?
No, it is covered in the rules, it is not. Nor is it
Oh,
for
okay,
the purposes
okay.
of
It is?
embracing or...
I completely forgot if it was. I
Yeah,
thought it was just blood.
they make a big point in mentioning that too.
Yeah,
Okay,
for the
sweet.
purposes
And
of any...
firing.
Yeah, for the purposes of any sort of permanent buffing, like through diablerie, it is not considered that.
Okay, that's fine. I was just
I'm
wondering
sorry.
if that was some loophole there or something.
So, while this is going on, I mean, you have just had a talk with Gianna about how Malik needs to be taken care of, Gerard. So you are in the next room and you're starting to hear a commotion from Malik. We are gonna handle this as a normal situation until someone makes a combat action. York was on the edge of doing that. Would you like to proceed with the shooting, or are we gonna play this out for a little while with talking?
Well, there's two things that could happen. That could be Bacon talking through, Julio, or Gianna talking. Otherwise, York is going to step up and shoot him in the head.
So, we are left with Julio standing up, and he has a few seconds, well, let's say a second or two to open his mouth and start talking, or Yorick is gonna start combat.
Yep.
No, he's a warm, loving person. At least compared to you, you for humanity monster, you fuck. You no longer
No,
care.
I'm always a monster.
You no longer care about damaging people's property, you fucker.
It is true. But to be fair, I think even if I had a high humanity rating, I wouldn't care because I would separate humanity from inanimate object. Life's important.
That poor car, how could you?
No, that doesn't work that way for me. Sorry. Just putting that out there, it doesn't work that way.
As rules as written, it works as he says, which is just the ridiculous part.
Well, the rules as written
Level, like, you have to
does,
be at like a...
the rules as written does suggest it as a guideline. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
so now that we've discussed the rules and laughed about that fuckery once again, like we must once per session, Bacon, the ball's in your court. You have the time for one action before Yorick gathers the guts to...
So I have 2 seconds to talk, right?
If you get... Hey, look. Yorick is easily manipulatable. You can confuse the hell out of him. Take advantage.
I think that I would like to talk the word freeze, looking at Gianna's eyes and using dominate.
Good use.
She can deliberately roll her willpower at difficulty 8 to try and avoid eye contact with you as you're trying to dominate, though. I think. That was written in the eye contact session.
It is something similar. I think it's willpower.
Yep. Nope. She just gazes lovingly into your eyes.
Yay!
She does have
Maybe that's a decrease in difficulty for Julio.
Gianna's willpower is low enough that...
No, what did he just do? What did he say to her?
He's trying to freeze her.
Okay.
I think he said something about getting her to talk or something, or freeze or something. Yeah.
No, Julio's gonna use his chance to talk to freeze Jan in place. I'm gonna treat the -1 botch as a essentially Gian is not gonna be able to try to avoid eye contact with Julio for the rest of the encounter.
Okay.
If he ends up trying to dominate her again, she's just gonna automatically look into his eyes. Straight on. That's not even gonna work for her. So it's a difficulty 4 roll at the moment. And, you know, have at it.
Okay. Let's see if I am lucky.
You appear to be very lucky.
Gianna, you stupid fucking derp. So that's 3 turns that she's paralyzed for. Yorick sees this happen. What does Yorick do?
Shoots him in the head.
I think he already mentioned he wants to talk real fast, right? That's what Bacon did say, right?
No, he said that he's gonna use his 2 seconds of talking to freeze Gianna. He hasn't said anything else. He just stood up, put down his book, and told Gianna to freeze.
God damn it. Could you include, Yorick, let's talk. Freeze, John.
Nope.
Could you do something like that? No.
Nope.
God damn it. Alright, well, in that case, Yorick is going to go ahead and spend a blood point to shoot twice.
In that case, the next thing we do is gonna start our first combat turn, and we are in a normal declaration, I guess, and Yorick will be moving first, obviously. So, Julio, you have 1 chance. You declare before Yorick. If you start, if it looks like you are gonna try and talk, Yorick might not shoot.
Yes.
I will raise my hands and start to talk to him.
Okay. Malik has
I'm trying to
heard
pick the lock.
Okay,
Trying to pick the lock.
okay, that's fine. What would Gianna be doing? She trying to struggle against the command. Actually,
Which she can't because she already failed. So
yeah,
he's frozen.
Yeah, she's just stuck there. So
actually,
it's irrelevant.
she can use actions that don't require movement, because freeze is used in the sense of cup shots and the like, where you're just not supposed to move.
That is absolutely true as well.
Oh god. Oh god.
Up, tentacle time. She's gonna wrap a tentacle around Julio's face to prevent him from talking.
Well,
Please, Botch. Please.
because
A
of how
boss
this
might
is
be
going to
worse,
have to work
actually.
out, can you at least make sure she summons at least one tentacle for that, please?
On her turn, she will try to summon a tentacle and do a thing, but Yorick can definitely... I mean, that's what you see them trying to do. It's up to you to decide how you're gonna react before you know how that turns out. That's the fun of this initiative system.
Yep. I feel like I need to roll York's perception alertness for this.
Okay.
Can he tell that Julio is about to start speaking peacefully?
Difficulty
Maybe
4 on
perception
this
empathy.
roll. Perception
What
empathy or difficulty 4. Perception empathy or perception alertness, whichever is higher.
Neither. Well, okay. Yorick is able to tell that Julio is trying to talk peacefully. So instead, he's just going to get in position and get ready with, the entirely defensive action thing.
Okay, so you're just ready to defend if something goes horribly
Yep.
wrong.
He doesn't have, he still has the pistol out and everything, but it's just out. And all right, so Julio,
Violet. Yep, that is gonna...
what's going on, Julio?
Right, we're gonna go into talking if you get that far. Violet is gonna speak to Malik. Gerard, what do? There is a commotion from the outside, the room you're in. Okay, then you can just move to the room and see Malik picking the lock on the library. So, what do you think, Yorick? Or Epic? Needing 5 or 6 successes since the key is still in the lock to actually pick it?
He actually, he'll be able to add on to the successes each time, but he'll just have to basically go above me on the roll.
Okay,
But
so
that might be, yeah.
So we'll go with a total of 7 successes at difficulty 8, since it's a... I made the lock a base 8 thing, and rolled for you at that, and the key is still in there, and you would first have to push it out somehow.
I got
Violet...
4 successes, remember, so he has to get 5. He has to total
Violet...
at 5.
Violet's eyes widen theatrically as she looks through the door. Gerard just came through, or the front door, or whichever door. You can't exactly tell, Malik. And she grabs onto your shoulder and says insistently, "There are Daleks out there." Actually, she would try to distract you, but just to be fair... Oh yeah, she has 3 points of academic. She knows what a Dalek is. The sick nerd. She knows. What the... Oh,
That was-
also a bitch. Excellent.
I have a way to... Okay, let's...
Okay, Yorick and Julio are both trying to talk, so I'm gonna roll for Gianna and see if she can wrap a tentacle around him before, that happens. And it looks like she can.
Hey, what are What were the things that look like potatoes called again?
Suntarans.
The Centaurans?
Yep.
Okay. Igor's a Centauran.
Okay.
He's a friendly one. He's a friend of mine.
Okay, Gianna's tentacles will be rolling to hit with a difficulty of 8 because they are aiming for the head. Julio can try to abort to a dodging action by rolling willpower difficulty 8. Or some other defensive action. Or you can go into total defense and just keep batting the attacks away if you succeed in the willpower thing anyway, because it, you know.
I don't know what else to call it. It's a defensive action thing.
Yeah. So
I know the rules for it, but it doesn't seem to have a name.
So, Julio, essentially there are 2 tentacles coming at you, and I need to make sure to decrease Gianna's blood pool because she is running low and this could end up mattering a great deal. Bacon, you there? I think you might be muted.
Yes. No. If I change to a defensive action, Yorick would continue trying to talk, or he would shoot me?
He already was able to tell that you were trying to talk in a peaceful manner and not dominate everything. So,
But
don't
that
worry about
being
that.
the case, you don't know. And Julio certainly doesn't know.
No, I don't, but York strongly suspects he wants to talk peacefully and is not about to just, hurt him somehow. So he will just be on the total defense and not do anything if you dodge those tentacles.
Okay, so I try to dodge the tentacles. I need to roll willpower to change my action.
Yep.
Or spend a willpower point. Either way.
Current willpower or total willpower?
You get to spend a willpower point to automatically do it, or you can roll.
Yeah, if you
Up to you.
roll, you roll your permanent willpower.
Yeah.
As in the, the dots, not the boxes.
Well, I will try to save my luck on the dice and I will spend 1 willpower.
Well, you still know to... Did the first roll on total defense, was it at... Well, actually, you are engaged in melee with 2 targets anyway, right?
It's going to increase his difficulty by 1 to try and dodge, but it will not decrease his dice.
So you need to roll at a 7 and at an 8 because you get a +1 difficulty due to being engaged by multiple melee enemies.
I don't know about that 8. I
Well-
think it's just difficulty 7 and -1 on one of his dice.
No, it was a plus to the difficulty on total defense. I recall...
There's a -1 to each dice for each action you have to make.
You are speaking something completely arcane, as usual.
Don't worry, I have the rules by my side.
Honestly, I remember reading this. It was a +1. I'm sure your dexterity athletics can handle 1 and 2 successes on a dodge. I'll even let you make the dodge for the 2 success attack as the first one and roll that one at difficulty 7 and the easy one at difficulty 8. Just
I'm gonna put it in our chat.
don't. That's a wall of text. We don't want that.
Oh shit, sorry. Misclicked.
Okay. Okay, you do lose 1 die, in which case it is normal. Fair enough. My bad. You are actually right. This once.
I am right quite often, I'll have you know, except when I mix up the rules with Dark Ages or with, revised.
In that case, Julio, it's a difficulty 7 dodge, and you need to succeed at 2 of them, and yeah, the second one will have -1 dice. And you know what? Since Epic pissed me off, I'm not gonna be merciful. The first roll is for the easy attack. So there.
Okay.
I know.
I like giving Julio a chance, even if only the dice were what allowed it.
You know, if you're not gonna cooperate, Jenny's gonna have a tough time doing this on her own.
The second one is just 4 dice, right?
Yep.
Also difficulty 7.
Yep. Indeed.
Multiple attackers. Yep.
So let's see. You have...
Oh, thank God.
With that many successes, you manage to stumble towards the bookcase slightly further away from them. Though, admittedly, you would still be in range because they have a 2-meter reach. But hey, one step closer to being away from those things.
Those things can move.
But she has to spend her turn moving them, right?
No, she can just kind of do it.
You
Oh, Yorick, she needs to spend her turn doing it.
Yeah, we've been playing
Even
it that
then,
way, so
okay, well, even then, it's still a
mental.
mental action.
Like she hadn't even moved him before.
Yeah.
So we have to play it the way we've been playing it.
Well,
Okay.
actually, while we're handling what's happening outside the door, you might as well look it up real quick, see if there's some
Sure.
place with a definitive ruling. So, Malik, Daleks, how do you react while you're picking the lock?
Well, to be fair, the doctor would want to save Rory and Amy, would he not?
Well, I'm sure that
Oh.
the nun looks the most like Amy. Or
I learned
Gianna.
something
She
new.
doesn't. No.
I learned something new.
I did say Gianna last game. I said Gianna was Amy and Julio was Rory. So
And I'm having trouble with their marriage.
they're fighting. I have to save him from this fiery redhead who's not redheaded right now. So, yeah.
Okay. What did you learn, Yorick?
Have you been including her potence rating on top of her obtenebration rating
Yes.
for the strength? Okay, just making sure. I didn't know that.
Yes, I have. One of the reasons why it might have gone up once or twice,
So
or might go up
It's my
again.
turn right now.
Yep, you can make your first of many, many lockpicking rolls.
That's Dex.
Larceny.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I don't think Did I raise my... No, I didn't.
Here we go.
Could I raise my blood points? Can I raise my blood points and then try to pick the lock, or do I have to just do one of those things? Like, could I spend blood to raise my dexterity?
Yes, you can spend blood to raise your dexterity. And that's the thing, I read that epic, and I just assumed it meant that she couldn't, just, that she could just swipe away at people without having to worry about controlling them.
She can just control them with her mind without any kind of
Yeah,
particular effort, is what that's saying.
that would be 3 successes, because you would have to roll at difficulty 8, because it's a base 8 contest, and Yorick has a
Okay.
difficulty debuff on that.
It's still pretty good, though.
Yeah,
That is pretty good. You're on your way.
Okay. Julio, what do?
Goody, can you update your phone?
And that is random.
Yes.
Very random.
Where are the voices coming from? Where are these voices? Who is that person?
Julio, what do? Talk?
Julio will try to talk to York, continue to talk to York, but he can do that while he takes a step to the left.
Yes, he can. But the tentacles might have something to say about that. So, is there anything else epic that mentions how the tentacles
when you're
would
done,
move,
okay?
or is it just controlling them?
Just general obtenebration generally states, besides the Shroud of Night, all of them basically are just there and can be used.
Yeah, but it does specifically state that they need a patch of shadow to come out of, and that
No,
they are...
they don't.
Yes,
actually.
they do. Yes, they do. They do need shadows to come out of. That is written.
Thank you.
And
Oh, wait.
it does mention
yeah, it is.
the range.
Arms is.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna treat it the same as the Shroud of Night for moving them, because we have treated them as being rooted in place and thus limiting the awesome destructive power of them in that way.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay. Julio wants to do a thing. Jenny is gonna summon a cloud to muffle sound and sight. Because Yorick clearly isn't gonna help.
He will stay just slightly away from Julio, just a distance. So.
Jackalor, the key is still in the lock, so he needs a total of 7, not a total of 5.
Oh yeah, because the key is still in, increases the thing.
Malik, you are gonna keep picking, I take it?
I'm gonna keep picking. I have a strange feeling that... Did I hear anything that happened in there?
Well, no.
No.
I don't think.
No.
If I hear... Well, does the disintegration make a sound?
No.
I don't know if it does. It
Just
does.
a silent swish as the tentacles lash out, but not through the
Uh-oh.
door.
Well, I hear the silent swish. If I hear the silent swish,
If
I
you
definitely need to get in there.
Difficulty 10, perception alertness roll.
If I hear it, I have to get in there because
Malik.
the rift is opening.
Malik, if
I'm
you
going to
had,
keep picking the lock.
Yep, if you had like Auspex at 5, maybe at 4, I might let you detect that. I would let Alberta try at difficulty 8 or 9, at least. But not so sure. It's a damn good door, and it's a damn silent sound. Malik, Malik, you are gonna start hearing exterminate in the distance.
Why am I hearing exterminate?
Because you
Hallucinations.
Because you have hallucinations as part of your insanity package.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. I will, Well, that just increases my urgency to get in there now, doesn't it? I have to save Amy, and I gotta save Rory.
Okay. Careful, or I will up your difficulty due to you rushing too much.
Sure.
Violet, meanwhile, is... What would Violet do? What would Violet do? Huh. Does she have anything that she could use to fuck with you? Like, really fuck with you? Okay. No idea. Nothing that comes up as a Doctor Who thing. Not really. Okay. She's gonna say, Doctor, the TARDIS is taking off. Why are the controls set for Skaro? Which would be the Dalek homeland.
Okay. I'm still gonna pick the lock.
Incidentally, you might need to fly away from there because Daleks can't get into the TARDIS. You'll need to get to the control console right now. Otherwise everyone is dead. They'll get over their fight on their own, possibly. That's
I gotta get in here. I gotta get in here.
Okay, fair enough. Gerard, what do? Just type it out quickly. So, Julia wants to do a thing. These two are gonna talk. Okay. So, Malik told you that Amy is going to kill Rory. Gerard is... My Doctor, you do travel with a lot of strange people, don't you? That's a lot of people in the TARDIS. Most interesting. So,
it is very interesting. There's not many people. There's usually not many people in the TARDIS. So I'm wondering how he's really making this work. But we'll figure it out.
okay. Again, it's I'm willing to let a tentacle pop up from another place.
Don't worry, I'm just proving myself wrong. There you go.
Yeah. Essentially gonna treat it as still needing to be attached to a source of shadow, but she can move it to within sight if there's another patch she can make it pop out from. By spending a turn just placing them again.
I transferred everything over there. It gets transferred out of checking.
1 moment.
Yep.
The
Okay.
voices are back.
Maybe they have always been there, just watching you. Oh, so
At least I'm not so bad off that I confuse the fact that this is reality and not a dream, and that if somebody wakes up, I just die. Like Darren or Daryl or whatever. I keep getting his name confused because I've seen him twice.
yeah, now schizophrenia is part of your package, even though we're treating it as mostly hallucination based. I could justify delusions like that.
Nah.
No, doesn't feel like a good thing. It's almost like you want to survive this. It seems strange. It's like you think you're gonna live through this. Somehow. Independent and healthy. For a vampire. Somehow I'm not sure that's gonna be a thing. Graffiti, graffiti everywhere. So, Epic, you are just gonna talk then? Or are you trying to do something else?
I'm just going to wait to see what goes on, and then I'm going to, keep a
React.
distance and keep a pistol trained on Julio.
In your account,
Okay. In which case we are to Gianna, and the library gets flooded with shadow. All sounds are now muffled. And the tentacles will take another swipe. Just a swipe this time. So this would try to wrap around Julio and do damage. Do you want to try and dodge this? While
I think I will try to dodge it.
Yeah, I think it would be the whole library being flooded with shadow, because it doubles every time, right? With every extra success, Yorick. And you were gonna take a step and talk, right? You didn't say that you were gonna do a defensive action.
No, I was going to take a step and talk.
Okay, in which case you have to roll the willpower again. Or else this could start turning out very badly. You measuring? Okay, looks good. Go ahead and make your dodge rolls. Difficulty 7. The first one is the hard one. And keep in mind, you are Gen 8. You can spend 3 blood points to buff your dexterity for this, if you want. So you can, buff yourself up very quickly, very easily.
So I will buff 1 dexterity and 1 stamina.
You can spend a 3rd blood point if you want. You have up to 3 per turn.
No, I am getting low at blood, so just 2 points.
Okay, I go ahead and do your dodging then. Let's see if you can actually escape this. So, Yorick, does it check out? Can we just assume the library flooded with shadows?
a critic.
It checks out
So that's why
very
what I'm
well.
doing is looking.
Okay, in which case you are in darkness, all sounds are muffled, and you are at a +2 difficulty on attacks. Except for Gianna. So, she spent 1 turn.
The second row is with 1 less dice, right?
Yep. So you dodge the first. If you have to soak, keep in mind you are at -2 stamina because the shadow cloud is fucking with you.
So the shadow cloud is like the entire library now.
Yep, it's just rolling shadows. And the doctor has seen this before. Rory
Oh, we wanna
and
keep-
Amy are probably dead, eaten by the shadows. And yes, you do dodge it.
Oh crap, if I open the door, I'm just gonna have to go turn the TARDIS around. I'm sorry, Julio.
The
Can I-
Daleks are screaming in the background. The doctor will show himself.
Can Auspics help penetrate the cloud, or is it just useless?
I think it counts as a supernatural thing, so if you...
It does. Auspex will only let you get ranged attacks at +2 difficulty instead of impossible.
Uh-huh. So
Epic,
since
when
we're-
you talk, I have a hard time hearing you because somebody's talking in the background.
I know. My dad's doing his bills today.
Next,
Okay, so... you wouldn't be moving a step over just... Well, actually, no, what did you get on the first one? Yeah, you just got one more. Then,
and
That-
let's see, I think this.
you know, it's fine. You can take a step, Julio. Gianna is gonna... Gianna has one more turn frozen anyway. So you have one turn to talk to Yorick. And Malik, did you make your second roll for the picking yet? I don't think you did.
No, you didn't say my turn was up, and turn order's kind of weird.
Yeah, we are handling
Is that
the
difficulty?
8. You're not that freaked out yet. But hey, at least you have an excuse to spend a lot of blood.
So those actually both will probably come through after the.
Oh,
okay, so
one of
we-
them can still hit, hey?
Got it open.
Oh, you motherfucker. You're
If it
faced
comes
with a
through
rolling
after
mass
the-
of shadows.
and it comes out of the page.
Not quite. He actually needs one more success.
No, I got 3 last time.
You're a total at 7. You actually need to get above the locks.
Should be okay.
No, I gave it a +2
No.
necessary successes for the key still being in there, and the lock was 4.
Oh, okay. Then yeah,
So this
sure.
time with my.
I would love to fudge this, but it's on record. It's a thing.
I didn't realize you were including the 7. Okay. I didn't realize it was actually base 6. Okay. Thank you.
No, what 7? What 7? 7 isn't included, it's 8. Yeah,
No. The success things. You already included that you need to get above 6. It was not that he.
So when you come
Yeah.
down in here and
yeah. So, Gianna's hearing isn't affected by this, is it?
She gets to ignore her own shadows. Yes.
Okay.
the
Nor is her sight actually affected if she
close here.
wants
Yeah.
to see through it.
So it
So.
should be right around.
Gianna has no idea what Doctor Who is, otherwise she could make use of this. Unfortunately, it's not a thing. So, I think then we are moving on to the next turn, and Gianna is gonna move one of the tentacles closer to Julio, who is, I assume, gonna try and talk while he has the chance.
But the shadows are blocking the sound, right?
Not completely,
yeah.
it's just muffled. You're standing close enough that you can talk.
Does it make sense where we're at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will try to talk.
Okay. Gianna will move her thing. Malik, what do you do? The shadows have eaten the library. The TARDIS has been compromised.
I'm going to run into the shadows and yell, Amy!
The Doctor is not suicidal. He does let people die when they are already dead. I think you need to sonic the
no.
shadows to check what's in there.
These shadows, those shadows are not, I'm not looking at this like those are the shadows that ate people, I guess.
But if you don't know
Yeah,
what
I
it
would
is,
use
you
my
would.
sonic. I would use my sonic screwdriver.
In which case, you can roll aspects on your turn.
Okay.
Yorick, what do?
Well, he hasn't had a chance to really talk yet, so keep it trained on him. Keep ready to defend against him.
Actually, yeah, I did declare Gianna's action, so I can't really do a thing. Can she speak while shifting that thing around like one sentence?
Not while frozen.
Fair enough. So, Violet is gonna be holding her cross, ready to distract Malik if she needs to, if he tries to do a thing. She's gonna use that as a counter for him rushing in there if she needs to scare him off. Gerard, what do? Malik's suspects we're just gonna handle when he gets back. Hopefully his hobbit nature will allow him to return quickly enough. Not necessarily. She's used the cross on you, I think, to scare you off, but she's not gonna you damage him with it. It's just crowd control, like dominate. So it would probably be seen as something similar. I'm guessing. Yeah, Violet is gonna use the cross on you if you move into the library to scare you off, prevent you from doing that. She's using that as a essentially prepared action.
She might have to spend a willpower to take actions against him.
It's for Malik's own good, though.
Oh, okay. That might, if it goes with her nature or with her thinking that's correct, yeah, that works.
Wouldn't I just take off running into the library?
Not if where she's standing. You would go running downstairs, I think. Most likely. Or into the workshop. Because, you know.
Well, if the cross hurts me, then it would hurt Amy too. That's what I'm thinking.
You're gonna take a whack at the nun? Next chance you get?
She's not, like, pressing it on you. She's presenting it to you.
Yep, she's just gonna drive you back.
It's scary to me, so.
Okay.
She has some weird trinket, this psychic trinket that, like, has such a strong effect on my Gallifreyan mind. I just, I don't see how Amy could actually withstand it.
Okay, fair enough. Gerard, you see a rolling mass of shadows. You can't see inside. You can't hear anything coming out of there other than a sort of low, eerie hum.
Aspects doesn't matter. Eyes of the beast don't matter. Nothing matters to this darkness.
You can try and hear inside with Auspex, especially if you activate just your hearing as a heightened sense. You can try that.
That could be a thing. Yeah.
That's how you're able to shoot things, I think. You just hear where they are.
Yeah, it's basically blind fighting. So.
Yeah. Level 2 obtenebration. Gianna has some cool toys in her arsenal. Who would have thunk?
Take note, when she rolled those 4 successes, it doubles each time starting at a 10. She has 80 meters of darkness at her disposal.
It was 10 feet, so like 3 meters across, though. I think. I think it was in feet, not meters.
No, it's in meters, I think.
I mean, either way, 3? 3, 6, 12,
yeah,
24.
it is 3 meters. Yeah, you're right.
It's
and
still enough,
20.
though. There's still enough. It's just covered in shadow.
She has more than enough.
Tendrils
Most
of
of the
shadow.
Chantry could be.
Tendrils of shadow expanding into the yard. Talk about a fun masquerade breach, huh? If you did that in a crowded street.
To be fair, it's actually somewhat allowable as long as they fail the courage rolls horribly. They generally just convince themselves it's a hallucination.
Actually, I don't think the nun has seen this before, and faith or no faith, I think she needs to roll. What do you guys think?
I agree with this.
I agree with this as well.
The nun is visibly shaken, but she manages to hold on. Apparently, Gianna warned her about shadow crap.
I would say it's more like she's looking into the abyss right now.
Don't worry,
Not
the abyss stares
actual
back.
obtenebration abyss, but actual hell abyss.
You know, with 5 successes, that may well be a factual statement. But not quite. Okay. Okay, you don't trust the nun to do anything threatening to Malk. Fair enough. What's your action? Blow her brains out? Oh, please don't. Please don't. I like the nun.
It's Gerard. It's Gerard. He would.
He really would. Okay, you're gonna whistle at her with the shotgun. You need to split your dice pool in order to draw and attack the same turn, since you had not prepared your weapon. Malik, for fuck's sake, I need the nun for fuckery.
That's not Malik, that's Nietzsche.
I just don't. No, don't.
Just kill her.
I don't think you have much of a choice because Gerard kills people. That's literally his go-to thing. I'll smash the problem.
I will so
If the
make
nun
your roll
dies, I
for
can get another
human.
redhead. If the nun dies, I can get another redhead. You know, I'm a redophile.
You need to draw difficulty 4, and you need to split that with your dice pool however you want for the shot.
Yeah, you could just spend 1 dice to try and draw your gun.
In which case, you do have a chance of failing. Yes, it is Dex plus firearms to draw.
Keep in mind you still have a -1.
Oh,
Malik, have you been taking into account the fun fact that you have nightmare debuffs going, I think?
Yeah, he does.
Did I fail on the nightmares?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So did I even get the door open?
It doesn't look like it.
In which case, it isn't open and the Violet is just preparing in case you do get to interfere. Since it looks
Which
like
still
it's
makes
going
sense.
down.
The good news is it only counteracts one of your successes.
Yep. I think.
It affects your dice pool itself.
Yeah.
So
I'm about to
you
just
need
leave you alone, Julio. You kind of made this mess for yourself.
It affects 1. Well, it affects... Yeah, essentially you have... If you had Dex firearms of a total of 8, then that would be -1, so you'd have 7 dice to split between the 2 actions. That's the way it works.
Yep.
So just go ahead and roll, don't drag this out. I just want to see the carnage.
Or, wait, no, that was his draw. That's a difficulty 4. He succeeded.
Yep, the gun comes out. As she sees the gun coming out, the nun would like to abort to a dodge to dive to the ground.
Sounds like a great idea.
It's her permanent willpower. So...
She goes, changing action, full on.
Okay, let's see if she can dodge. Nope!
Oh, no. She jumps onto the gun.
Gerard,
She places her head in front of the barrel.
just go ahead and roll your hit and damage normally, and we'll decide what dramatic thing happens
Yeah.
as a result.
That's a nice botch right there.
Actually, yeah, Gerard, as you are preparing to pull the trigger, you see the nun dive out of the way, smack her head in the wall, and go unconscious on the ground. She just managed to knock herself out. We'll go with that.
Now is a perfect time to shooting her.
Yeah, you can still shoot her as
Actually,
she is...
he still has to shoot her because he doesn't abort the action.
Oh, that's perfect. Mel just sees him cold-bloodedly executing her.
No! No! Quit!
Or you can make a roll and we'll see. Well, either
Just
way,
kill her.
whichever way this goes, she is gonna be unconscious.
Also
Okay.
known as add 2 to your dice pool there for the shot.
Well, yeah, fair enough. That sounds good. Just,
I'm just basing it off of incapacitated, the lesser version, so that we can tell how bad the hit is.
just roll at 4 and add 2 extra dice. We'll go with that. That sounds appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
No reason to look up specific rules.
10d6 damage.
Jesus Christ, don't be too bad, don't be too bad, don't be too bad.
Kill her, kill her.
Whoops, I mean, well, yeah.
D10, D10.
10. 10d10. I think I was thinking difficulty 6. Oh, she's dead.
She's incapacitated and bleeding out. She can still be saved. Don't.
Oh, that's a massive blood loss there.
There's a hole in her body, so I don't think she can survive.
So I'm not changing my action really, but I will probably
You can finish lockpicking.
fumble the lockpick, but I'll probably bow down and look at her. Like, see if I can help.
Mm-hmm. She instinctively spends the last blood point in her system, I think, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And heals 1 point, which means she's just out cold. And still sort of alive. For now. I like the nun, can you tell? I really like the nun. Julio, you wanted to speak.
Yes.
The tentacles... One of the tentacles is still in range, and it will try to attack you, but it's no longer going for your face. So you can try to make that... You can try to speak while Jen is doing that. She's gonna move the other one over. Actually, yeah, both of them would be in range because she just moves them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's just gonna let you make that a thing. You can try to board to a dodge again if you want. It's up to you. But if you're gonna speak up, essentially you need to either counterattack or do something. Unless your whole plan is to wait for time until Malik saves you, which is understandable.
She's trying to go for my head again.
No, she's just attacking at this point.
Just attacking, so I think I can let them hit me and soak while I try to talk to Yorick.
Okay. Which case, let's see if she manages to insta-wipe you. It doesn't look like it. That's 2 points of lethal. And you are now essentially in a grappled state.
Remember, you're taking a -2 to your soak rolls.
No.
Minus 2 dice. Yeah, the
Yes.
darkness.
Yes, the darkness. I forget. Okay, you're fine then.
So now can I talk to Yorick?
Yes,
Mhm. Go ahead.
indeed you can. I'm just gonna adjust the health bar on your token. Keep in mind that you can heal as long as you're not doing anything strenuous as well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with your
now
magic.
it's the important time. I need to say something that would convince Yorick to stop killing me.
You need to convince him to stop Gianna from killing you, which is far harder.
Yep.
Since Gianna is Yorick's friend, clearly. She's always looked out for him.
Mm-hmm. I remember that Joyd she started getting me hooked on. The time she's tried to stop me from killing myself and all that.
She actually got you some electronics from the destroyed car as well. What a thoughtful
Yep.
person.
Yep.
She actually starting to understand what you care about. She's getting to know you. Treating you like a person and not just some useless fledgling.
I don't think she ever treated Yorick that way, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's very careful not to make any more enemies, isn't she? She does come across as a really thoughtful and nice person, isn't she, the cold bitch? Hey, I mean, wait, what? I'm sure she's not just manipulating you cold-bloodedly.
Okay, I think that I know something to say. Yorick, stop. Jen is just trying to steal your workshop and our Chantry.
Wow. Try and make a really hard lie roll there.
It's not a lie, she's trying to steal.
Just roll your manipulation subterfuge at 8, because it really doesn't fit her actions.
At all.
Meech, I'm not gonna comment on that chat message. I just can't, because I don't want you to know her nature, so I can't give you any hints.
Don't worry. Malkavians can find it out in a turn.
Can I use willpower?
Yes.
1 willpower would be 1 extra success.
Yes.
Okay, so I will spend 1 willpower.
Yorick, you will have to roll perception against this at difficulty 6.
Mhm. Yep. And I will not spend willpower because I'm not like that. On the other hand, that's definitely not... That's probably... Yep. So he does get it based off of that willpower, but that's not enough to make me, like, betray Gianna or anything.
It sounds sort of truthworthy, but I assume Yorick is self-aware enough to realize that he doesn't necessarily see things clearly all the time, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So essentially he's locked in neutral mode. Malik,
Yep.
finish picking the lock, please.
So he will just keep his pistol trained on Julio. If he attempts to try and do anything to Gianna, he's taking shots.
While Gian is slowly ripping him to pieces. It's wonderful.
Hey,
Did I
friendship
get
is
the lock open?
magic.
Did I get the door open?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that should be enough.
Okay, so next turn, Julio, what are you gonna do? You are now grappled by 2 tentacles.
I will try to get released from the tentacles.
Okay, that is a contested strength roll in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Gianna will walk up to Julio and try to slam the stake she's holding in her left hand, which she was holding out to Yorick, into his chest, using her potence.
The dominate is over.
It's been 3 turns.
Yep.
And as
He
per
did say it was the last turn last time.
Indeed. Malik, you have opened the door. There's darkness. So, Sonic?
I think I said I was going to kneel down and look at the nun and
Okay.
use the Sonic.
You can try and channel some regeneration energy into her using a direct blood transfusion.
But I'm afraid of using that, and I haven't really given a title to her.
She's River Song, right? Clearly.
No, I didn't give that title to her. No.
You know you can heal
never said
people
this.
by channeling regeneration energy into them, right?
Yes, but I only have a few. I only have a little bit.
Yeah, but you don't need to use up a big chunk of it to save her, right? You don't need to use up full regeneration.
Nope.
No?
It sounds like a good use of blood, right?
Yeah,
Nope.
you could go out and feed again.
I'm going to check first. That's how I'm using my turns. I'm gonna check.
Okay.
Okay, that would be either, I think, perception medicine. I'll give you a +3 on that since you don't have any on the difficulty, but you can use your aspects to get that down to 6 with your 3 perception dice. Essentially, you can look her over and look for, you know, medical crap with aspects, if you want. Yorick. Gianna looks like feels like Gianna is gonna move forward.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to look. I'm
one
chatting
moment.
with somebody about.
Okay, I might as well split
Okay.
the recording anyway.